DJ Calm Down TV. Very, very special guest today. I got a little Crimson.
What's good? What's good?
Hey, chilling. Now, where you from? Let's start with where you from.
I'm from Nashville, Tennessee.
Okay. Now, Lil Crimson. Where you get the name Lil Crimson? It sounds like you're from Alabama.
Yeah, a lot of people say that. So basically, they used to be the University of Alabama. You know, the Crimson Tide. That's they, you know what I'm saying? That's their whole little vibe or whatever. So when I was younger, that's the school that I aspired to go to. You know, when I went to college, just because my dad went there. You know, and did, you know, sports like, you know, track and football. You know what I'm saying? And he actually gave me the name, you know, when I was younger, and it just stuck with me. I heard it, I was like, I kind of, you know what I'm saying? I kind of liked it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I kind of just ran with it.
Yeah, okay. Now, how long you been doing music?
Probably since about 7th grade.
Yeah.
In middle school, yeah.
Now, you don't consider yourself just a rapper or anything. You're a producer, and what exactly do you do?
I'm a rapper, of course, producer. I mean, I really wouldn't even call myself a rapper. That's kind of like, these days, like, that's kind of like disrespectful to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can't just call somebody a rapper.
Yeah.
I'm a musician.
Yeah, okay.
Because I play instruments. I can play trumpet, I can play piano. Like I said, I'm a producer.
When did you learn how to play your first instrument?
Actually, in high school.
Okay.
I joined the Hunters Lane Band.
Okay.
It's in Goodlettsville, Tennessee.
Oh, okay. Cool. I went to Hunters Lane, and I went to Goodlettsville Middle back in my day. So I'm a little familiar with it a little bit. But anyway, moving on. Now, real recently here in Nashville, you've been real, well, you were known to a lot of people for performing at the TSU concert. Explain that experience.
Really, like,
bump shoulders with anybody?
I wasn't fortunate enough to do that, but it was a lot of people that, you know what I'm saying, a lot of high profile people. Yeah. There, you know what I'm saying. As far as the performance experience, man, it was my best. It was like really like the best feeling ever. One of my best experiences ever. Yeah. The only thing about it was I had tried to do it the year before. Okay. And I was like, you know, I was super mad about, you know, not being able to do it the year before, because there's so many politics at, you know, at TSU. You gotta know this person. You gotta talk to this person to get to this person. You know what I'm saying? And I got to do it that year. You know what I'm saying? The only thing I wish I would have changed about it was how I approached it, because I was so hype about me being able to do it, period, that I wasn't even 100% focused on giving the audience what they, or what you wanted them to have. What I really wanted to give them. I wasn't even making eye contact with the crowd. I was just jumping around, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay.
But, you know what I'm saying, it was still fun.
Was that the biggest stage that you performed on, or as far as most people?
Yeah, it was.
Now, I seen another show though, I'm not sure where it was at, but you had a lot of people in the crowd rocking. Tell me how it feels when you're on the stage. Do you ever have stage jitters, or you?
Oh, of course, everybody, man, any artist that, well, not all artists, but any artist that tell you they don't get nervous when they go on stage, like, they probably lying. Like, it might not be a lot, but we all got, like, you know what I'm saying, a small little sense of nervousness, you know what I'm saying, when we get on stage. But once you get up there and you feel like the crowd is with you, you know what I'm saying, those first few minutes where, you know what I'm saying, it's kind of nervous for you, but then, like, your song drop and everybody just like, hey, hey, you know what I'm saying, it helps you a lot, and then, like, you instantly get comfortable. So.
Now, before we get too far, you say you're from Nashville, but tell me how it was growing up. What were you into, like, as a youngster? Ever into sports, or how was it, like, elementary school, taking back elementary days?
Yeah, I was into sports. Unfortunately, I wasn't really that good. And,
elite.
You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of my peers were. But yeah, I played, you know, football, played, you know, basketball, like, you know, like a normal kid. I remember I used to get in trouble for for staying out, you know, past, you know, the street light time or whatever. Yeah. You know, riding, you know, BMX bikes, you know, my friends and stuff in the neighborhood.
All right. Yeah. So when did you say, or when did you know that you was like, I want to take music serious? It's something I want to possibly do as a career. When did you like?
I basically figured that out when I was probably like in high school.
Was it the trumpets? I mean, not the trumpets, but just the playing the instruments overall that got you into music, or was it?
No, I was way interested in music, you know, way before I got into band. You know what I'm saying? I had a love for music, you know, ever since I first started in, you know, in high school. Really before that, but that's really when I started taking it seriously and really realizing that, okay, people are really gravitating towards what I'm doing, you know what I'm saying? I might, you know, have some here, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Now, were you making beats like first and then hopping on them, or are you making beats and selling them and then you eventually start rapping? Like, how did it all start? Like, I want to know it all.
You mean like just being a producer?
Like just as an artist in general. Like, did you produce first, or were you a rapper first?
Actually.
Or did you produce? Or would you say you produced and rapped your own stuff? So I guess it could have been at the same time.
Of course, I was an artist first.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But I kind of like dabbled in, you know, producing, you know, just coming up. Like at first, I didn't even like. For instance, like my mom in the house, she had this. Everybody's familiar with. If you're a producer, you know what FL Studio is. Yeah. So my mom, she had like the first version ever of it on a CD. This is back when we had like a little, like that big computer, you know.
Everybody was putting AOL CDs for internet and stuff.
She had, you know, she had it on the CD, and I didn't know what it was. I thought it was a game because it said Fruity Loops. I'm like, Fruity Loops, what's that? You know, so I put it in the computer, you know, and installed it, and you know, all these little beat pattern looking things came up, and I was, you know, I didn't really know how to work it back then, but it had like a little demo song on it that was already loaded up, and I just pressed spacebar and played it, you know what I'm saying? I was like, okay, you probably use this for making beats or whatever. But it wasn't until like probably about a year ago that I really just picked it back up and started, you know, self-producing and, you know, for other people.
So, were you self-taught? Or you go to school for making beats, or you learn everything on your own, or?
Everything on my own. Well, I ain't gonna say everything on my own, because YouTube helped me a lot. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people on YouTube that's been...
I like to give shouts out to YouTube, man. They help me with some of my video skills.
Yeah, they really do.
Well, okay. So, as far as your music goes, have you always been Lil Crimson, or you ever have any other names?
For the most part, I've really always been Lil Crimson. I have had times where I wasn't sure about that name, so I went like, for a few seconds I might have been like for a few seconds my name was Young Blitz.
Oh, okay.
Like I don't know, it just had like a ring to it, like it was Young Blitz, but I never stuck with it. I was just, you know what I'm saying, I was just like, no, I'm gonna just stick with Lil Crimson. Yeah. So that's just what feels natural to me.
Okay. Now, I was being a little nosy. I'm gonna go dig into Instagram real quick, social media for a second. I was being nosy on Instagram, and I seen a little in your bio. He said future QC artist / producer. Now, I personally, when I hear your music, I always say, man, he sounds like he could be part of Race Remedy or somebody. And I know a lot of musicians don't necessarily like to be told that they sound like somebody, but with it being so many artists, it's almost impossible to just sound you feel me, all the way different. But anyway, what makes you want to fit with, what makes you like QC so much?
Basically, like, I want to say it was back in, what, 2013? Or it's 2012 when the Migos
first,
you know, ever since then, you know, saying that actually that's one of my favorite groups, you know, rap artists. But ever since then, I really just started following that label. When I found out, a lot of the things there is to know about them, you know what I'm saying? When I found out that that's their label or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And I wanted to know more about them, you know what I'm saying? And I was watching, videos, and I was following them on Instagram. And I was just, I was really...
Just want to be a YRN. No, I was just
I was really, like, amazed at, like, how family... Or not, like when I say family oriented, I don't mean like, you know what I'm saying, like they good for like people, like for families to like watch. I'm talking about like they treat each other like family rather than a record label, like,
right.
Rather than like
just business. It's more of a
it's really like a brotherhood over there, and I feel like, you know what I'm saying, I would really fit in over there.
Alright. Now speaking of, you mentioned the Migos being your favorite artist. Or at least some of your favorite artists. Let's talk about music inspiration. Who were you listening to growing up as a youngster, or maybe still listen to now?
Growing up, I'm gonna tell you right now, I was listening to 50 Cent. Okay. Really, it was just 50 Cent and the whole G Unit. Yeah. Of course, you know what I'm saying, Buck, he's part of that.
Right.
But yeah, for 50 Cent and G Unit, that's all I was bumping when I was coming up. Then of course, it translated into, it went to, during that same time, it was kind of Soulja Boy. Who else?
Were you ever a Lil Wayne fan?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. I feel like, cause my generation, which I'm not saying, I'm not that much older than you, I'm 26, but I feel like from people in my era, my generation, we were pretty much heavy Lil Wayne heads back in my day, so if we was to ask anybody I knew probably, or that's around my age, a lot of us is gonna say Lil Wayne and Gucci's and stuff like that. So I just wanted to ask you if you was a Lil Wayne fan. Okay. But if I was to ask you a top five artists of all time, who would your top 5 be?
Oh, it's a sensitive one. Cause people gonna watch this video and debate and disagree with, but.
Maybe not in order either. You can just give me.
Yeah, it's not gonna be in order. Probably Jay-Z, Drake, Future, Migos, just as a collective, and who else? And probably Wayne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's solid right there. And I be here, I think I get the best top 5s. Like I see and heard some top 5s on other channels and stuff, but I think I be getting the best top 5s. That was a good top 5. But anyway, moving on. When you were a youngster, do you ever have any other dreams other than music though? Like ever dreamed of being a doctor or something crazy?
Never.
No.
Always music.
Yeah.
I might have not known exactly what I might have not always known exactly what I wanted to do. What my dream was, but but I did, know that it was only gonna be, music related. And when I did find out, what that dream was.
Okay.
What's up? It's Lil Crimson, and we talking about Crim Season and more on Calm Down TV.